What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of GG Gaming. This is the first episode of the new year. Woo! I am your host, Andrew, and with me today is Alpha Stoutland and WreckitRyan. Say hi, guys.
What's up, guys?
Hey, everyone.
So, PapaGenos might be joining us at some point during the podcast. So that'd be cool. And if he does, then the gang will be all here for the first time ever.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be the first time ever.
It would, yeah.
Wow. So, Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Absolutely. Happy New Year.
How was your holidays and New Year? What did you guys
do? It was very fast.
Yeah.
It was not long enough. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went back to New Jersey for the holiday, and then I came back to Florida, and on New Year's I didn't do anything but just sat in my apartment. I think I played video games because I really don't know anyone in Florida, so it was kind of poopy. But yeah. So, anybody been playing any new games or anything?
Not new games. I did finally wrap up World of Light, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Holy cow, it was
It was
awesome.
pretty good. Now, did you get all three endings?
I did.
Okay.
I did the true ending first by accident.
Oh.
So that was, yeah.
Nice. By accident?
Is it technically spoilers at this point? I mean,
well, I haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, you
so.
haven't? Okay.
Basically, you'll just keep fighting everyone before you fight the last bosses, and eventually you'll have the option to the true ending. And you could kind of tell, and you could also kind of tell that I'm trying not to spoil it. But basically, it's three paths because there's three endings, and a third path opens up after you, I guess, beat all the bigger, not every single spirit space, but I suppose just at least the big ones, which you'll know what I'm talking about, like the bosses. So, but anyway,
and there is a nice surprise before you do the final battle. There is a very nice surprise. I was like, "What?" So you'll like it, Ryan. I think you'll like it.
Awesome.
I was just like, "What?" So yeah,
I love
it's really cool. How far are you?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I've got to be getting pretty close. I haven't put too much time into it as far as all of my games are concerned, because I did get some new games this Christmas, so I haven't been playing as much as I thought I might have, but I'm getting pretty close, I think.
Have you fought Gleam already?
No, I have not, so maybe I'm not close.
Yeah,
No,
that's just the beginning, my friend. That's just the beginning.
Wow. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm glad
let's just say there's more after Gleam.
Yeah.
A lot more.
That's
but,
awesome.
Yeah, it's a really extensive game. I love it.
Cool.
It was
That
great.
is great.
Galeem might be the halfway point, or a little more than the halfway
Oh
point.
my gosh.
Or maybe a little
Wow.
more than a halfway point in terms of the amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And that's if you do every spirit like I was doing.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
I think I finished with 20-something hours, 22 maybe.
Okay.
So, and I 100%ed it. So.
Yeah, I went ahead and 100%ed it too, because I didn't want to miss any spirits, have to backtrack, so just make sure I didn't miss anybody. So I'm only missing, I actually have almost all the spirits. I have all the fighter spirits, I have all the spirits from World of Light, and I'm missing two, and I'm sure they're tied to challenges. And then, of course, the Pikachu and Eevee for Let's Go, that are exclusive to those games for now until they update later.
I got the Eevee one.
I got the Pikachu one because I have Pikachu, and then on Christmas, my cousin had Eevee, so we just popped in each other's games and saved it. So,
cool. I didn't know that would work.
Yeah.
So you just have to put the game in. You don't actually have to.
You have to make a save file. So as
save file.
Yeah, as soon as you can save, just save, and you're good.
Oh, there you go.
So Let's Go has multiple save files?
No. It saves It saves on your system.
Just to the Switch.
Oh, gotcha.
Cartridge.
Gotcha.
The beauty of digital save files.
So, and then I got the 3 new ones after that from the Mario event.
Yeah, I made sure to go ahead and get those.
That golden mushroom one was really hard.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
that he just hits like okay, gold increases the CPU's knockback and damage, right?
I don't know what it does, honestly.
But it made him OP. Like, oh, he was so fast. I think it gives them super armor and increases their damage and knockback. I'm pretty sure because it seems every time you hit him with light attacks, it didn't do anything. So, and they just kept getting faster and faster and faster.
Are they considered metal?
I thought they would be, but I think they're technically metal, but they don't have the same properties of a metal character.
That's a good question.
I need to look that up on the
That's
Smash
a confusing description.
It is. It's like they're metal plus whatever the gold aspect adds on.
Plus.
Yes.
That's
basically what gold is. It's just metal plus.
Has there been any Spirit Board challenges that you couldn't beat yet?
Giga Mac.
I actually got that one, but I was so
until
frustrated.
Until World of Light, I had to beat him with Cloud. Because I thought I could beat him with Little Mac just countering. No, he starts grabbing you, and that quickly goes downhill fast. So, but yeah, I actually beat him with Cloud in World of Light. So it was.
So there's one right now that I'm stuck on, and by stuck on it, I mean like I keep losing to it, and it's not something I could keep practicing with because it disappears when you lose to it. And that's Sukapan.
Yeah, dude, Sukapan was so hard. Like for real, that was a hard one too. Like you just have to slap assist killer power-ups and stuff and just go ham on him until he disappears. Because that's what I had to do. Because with both of them, that was a tough one too.
And the other legend one that I've encountered but didn't get was something Queen Metroid, where you fight King K. Rool and then he becomes giant. So the first time I played it, I beat it, but I didn't get the spirit because I didn't have any like more slowdown things or enough.
Yeah, those power-ups are awesome.
Yeah, I didn't have enough of them, so I missed firing it off. And then the second time I came across the Queen Metroid one, I was like, all right, I'm going to get it this time. And then I lost. So I was like, what? So, and I don't have any more rematches because I used up most of them, or all of them. There was a couple that I struggled with and beat. One of them was Gigamac. Actually, that one was on the map anyway. But for the ones on the Spirit Board, definitely Donkey Kong and Lady.
Yes.
I had to get lucky, and she kind of killed herself.
Yeah. I
love when that happens.
I know, right? When they suicide.
I was actually doing like a strategy.
Feeling ever.
I was actually doing some kind of strategy I was reading where it was making it more doable, but it was still difficult, where you use Pikachu and you just keep spamming Thunder, because while Donkey Kong is on the top area, like he'll get hit by the thunder.
Perfect location, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you yourself have to be high enough. But it's still difficult because it's just he kills you in like 2 hits. What other ones? I can't remember what else I had trouble with off the top of my head.
Nessa's father was hard too, with the Invisible Snake.
Oh yeah,
that was a tough one.
I can't think of like
all of the ones from Mother were hard for me. Klaus, Hinawa, all of them, man. It was all the, I should say, Legend class ones were hard. Ninten, all of those were just, they kicked my butt.
So how many spirits do you guys have?
All of them except for the Pikachu and Eevee and the 2 that I'm sure challenge. Yeah, I have been playing the heck out of Spirit Board and World of Light. I've barely played any Smash. I just beat Classic mode with all the characters. So
yeah, I still gotta do that.
Yeah, I love the challenges and stuff, so I was doing that and World of Light and stuff. So yeah, some of them are really tough. Really tough.
I like that though.
I couldn't beat, what was it? Beat the final battle in World of Light without losing.
Yeah, I still haven't done that yet.
I could do it with like losing 1 life, but I just can't do it, you know?
It's so hard too because
you have to get up to the final battle.
La. Never mind. ruin it, spoilers.
Yeah, I was staying away. I was staying away. From spoilers.
Invite me back in a few minutes, maybe.
No, I was staying away
we're
from
treading
spoilers.
on very
Alpha
thin
almost
ice.
I'm
spoiled
sorry.
it.
I just stuck my foot through the ice and
Yeah.
touched cold water. I'm sorry. But needless to say, it's hard to do that final battle without dying.
You really didn't spoil anything. You stopped yourself before you.
Yeah,
did.
thankfully I did.
So, so you're good, Ryan. Alpha didn't say anything.
I
forgot all about it. I was purposely avoiding saying any spoilers, but I didn't even catch on to what you were saying until you stopped yourself. So,
yeah.
Otherwise, I would have stopped you. I would have been like, whoa. But
Dude, shut up.
Yeah, you got it. Before, you caught yourself before I caught you.
I know, right?
But yeah, pretty much like that final battle, I can't do it without losing at least one life.
Yeah,
it's
tough.
I just take too many hits. I'm not good at fighting bosses. I'm good at fighting characters, because I could dodge around them and whatnot, but the bosses are usually too big, where you can dodge and you still get hit. I don't know. Maybe I just suck at fighting bosses. I don't know.
Yeah, some of the bosses are
strategy.
Definitely better than Gallium. As huge as he is, he's still a pretty easy boss.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with reflectors. Good grief. But Rathalos is hard for me, just because he's constantly off the ground. But I love how they spawn Deku nuts and the pitfall items and stuff. You just chuck it at him and makes him dizzy. And you just go to town on him.
Because those are in Monster Hunter, not the Deku nuts and pitfalls, but you can stun enemies, and they actually have the stars around their head. Not enemies, monsters. And they have the stars around their head, like if you use a flash, some kind of flash related thing, like a flash bomb or something. And there's also pitfall traps that you can set up that the monsters will fall through the ground. So it's pretty much like...
It's a direct reference to Monster Hunter.
I couldn't think of the words. It's a direct reference to Monster Hunter, which is awesome. But, I can't even get up to 9.9 difficulty in Classic Mode.
Yeah. I tried that. I was like, man, I can do it with King K. Rool. I did 8.8 because I died 5 times. Every time you die, it lowers.
I can't even get up to 9.0.
I know, right?
It's just man, whatever. I was reading that some characters are better to do with. I saw somebody online beat 9.9 with Jigglypuff and only using rest. They didn't do anything else. I was like, I can't even get up to it with a character I'm good with.
I know, right?
Some people are just so
Jigglypuff.
good. As long as those challenges that don't allow, the challenges that you can't break the, you can't use the hammers to break them. Mm-hmm. As long as there's nothing behind them that are exclusive in terms of battling, so as long as there's no exclusive music or exclusive Mii costumes or stuff behind them, then it's okay. Because I want to at least get all the stuff related to playing Smash.
Mm-hmm.
I want all the Mii costumes, I want all the music. It already has all the levels, and I already have all the characters, and I don't think there's anything else to unlock for Smash, the Smash mode. I know there's spirits and stuff, but I don't need those to have everything to play with other people, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, would you happen to know if any of those challenges can be, if any of the challenges that can't be broken with hammers, if they have any Mii costumes or music behind them?
I don't know. And I would hope that the 9.9 challenge would give you something good worth your time. But hey, you just won. Here's 1,000 coins.
I think some of them have exclusive spirits. I know there's Mew.
Yep.
But I think I'm
missing Mew. That's one.
But I think most of them, or some of them, you can actually encounter on the spirit board. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Here comes a new challenger.
And we have PapaGenos here, just joining us right now. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Oh, the gang is all here. The gang,
yes.
Everyone is here!
It's the first time we've had...
I think this is the first time all 4 of us were here.
I think so.
Yes, it is, yep.
Cool.
So, we were just talking about some Smash, and have you played any more? PapaGenos?
I play every single day.
Oh, nice.
At this point. Mostly, the other day I had a few people over and we had kind of like a Smash party night. I mean, it was only me and like 3 or 4 other people, but we just played like 4-player Smash. Kind of crazy stuff. Did team battle and stuff like that, which generally I've been playing like one-on-one online. So it was fun to do classic, old school, party Smash.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been playing online because it lags too much, and I just really can't even play it.
Really?
Yeah, but when I play online, or when I tried playing online, it was team battle, so there was 4 people. So maybe I'd have better luck with 1v1.
Yeah, I've been playing 1v1, and I mean, there's definitely times when it lags, but I've had matches with extremely minimum lag that I don't even notice it.
Okay, maybe I just have to try again.
Yeah, I mean, keep playing. Some matches are good, some matches aren't.
Yeah.
Also, if you can get the the wired adapter thing, it really does make a difference.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I forget what they call that thing.
We were talking about the challenges. Would you happen to know if any of the challenges that can't be broken with a hammer, if any of them have any Mii costumes or music behind them?
I don't have all the music. I don't have all the Mii costumes. I kind of have just been trying out characters and spending less time trying to unlock things lately. I was doing that a lot at the beginning, but now I've kind of slowed down. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't gone through the whole game, gotten everything.
Okay. I want to jump into talking about the data mine, but before we talk about the data mine, there was a couple of other things I want to talk about before Smash. One thing that I had said within the last couple of videos, I wanted to bring up if anybody's seen that poster for the live Sonic movie and thoughts on that.
I've seen it.
Yeah. Did you guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you think?
He has tiny hands. I just immediately stood out. I was like, "Oh, his hands are tiny." No,
it's like Sonic the Real Man.
Yeah, it's an odd looking. It's Uncanny Valley. It's got that like it's too real, but not real, so it just comes off unsettling.
Yeah.
So here's
kind of like the live action Chipmunks or something. It just
So this live action movie adaptation of Sonic has got people bothered, but I'm kind of bothered for a different reason on top of that. And that's because when it comes to Sonic media, like different Sonic media, whether it's cartoons or the new comic by IDW, and even like the past one from Archie, Sega has this knack for not wanting to reference any characters or anything from other media. So they won't want to reference, they'll try not to reference something, let's say, something that's exclusive to Sonic Sat AM, the Saturday morning Sonic cartoon from Deke, like with the Freedom Fighters and stuff. They're in this position where they don't want to reference something like that because I suppose it's not in line with the current Sonic. Which, okay, but then I suppose the reasoning for that is that they want to stay on brand, but then you have something like the live Sonic movie where it's going completely off of brand and they're trying something new. So I'm like, why do you put all your eggs into the try something new basket when you have things that have been tried and true that are successful and you just ignore them? Like, why not give fans what they want because you know they want it? And when it comes to the things that they don't want, you push, So I'm kind of annoyed for a different reason on top of that. It's like, yeah, we want, in the new comic, we want to see the Freedom Fighters, or we want to see, like, characters from the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, or we want to see some reference to, really anything from, like, the old run of the book and stuff, and it's like, no, we have this new world that we want to focus. But also, we have the new live movie where Sonic doesn't look like Sonic. That's great for our brand. It's like, why would you ignore what people want and give people what they don't want? That's something I just don't understand about these companies. Like, do they not understand what people want? Like, is there really such a great disconnect?
Sega's been notoriously tone deaf to the fan base, I feel like. as far as Sonic goes, because I'm also a big fan of those, like the Archie comics and the old cartoon with Jaleel White voicing Sonic and stuff. I love that. I always thought that was Sonic canon, like growing up, and then they, like, it's weird, they like sort of merged it, because I remember Sonic Adventure came out, and they kind of had the comics follow that for a little while, but then they like got rid of some stuff, and then it's Sonic is so messy at this point. I was really happy to have Sonic Mania because it was so clean. It was just it's just old Sonic's all there is, and here's some more. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of agree. I hadn't thought about it that way, but yeah, the live action movie, it would be a great opportunity to bring up other stuff back, but instead they're going some bizarre other route.
Yeah, like I hope I'm explaining it correctly. Like, I'm explaining it how I'm thinking of it, because I wrote it in the comments on like the writer for the comic, Ian Flynn, has a podcast called The Bumblecast, and I actually made a comment because he was talking about how like Sega does or doesn't want certain things in the book. And so I think the way I worded it in the comment made a lot of sense, but I was trying to remember how I wrote it. And basically it's like the fans are like, we want this stuff because you gave it to us once before and we really like it. So why can't you at least throw us a bone and reference it? And they're like, no, but we're going to try something new that we've never explored before instead of try something that we know some people want. Here's Sonic the Real Man. And it's like, we don't want this. Give us like Sally Acorn and Bunny Rabbit. And it's like, no, that's from an old, that's not what Sonic's about anymore. But here's Sonic the Real Man. It's like, come on. Like, that's not Sonic either. Like, I don't understand. Those things from the past are ingrained in Sonic history to the point where they're more Sonic than Sonic the Real Man. You know?
Sonic the Real Man.
That's just going to be the trending hashtag. Hashtag Sonic the Real Man.
Like, I've never heard that. I just made that up and I like it. So I'm going to keep calling it Sonic the Real Man.
That's pretty good.
The name of the episode.
That's the name of this episode, Sonic the Real Man.
There you go.
He's the realest thing alive. So,
not to be totally Geno-centric here, but I do feel like what you're saying is totally like what Nintendo does with Geno and Mallow and Mario RPG for Mario, but that's the outlier. Like, that's like the one time they kind of decided to completely ignore something that fans really want to continue to be part of the series, whereas Sonic seems to consistently do it every step of the way. They'll just decide what's canon, what isn't canon, cut things out, go bizarre alternate routes. It's always weird with Sonic.
There's spin-off Mario stuff that they don't reference anymore, like even, let's say, Wart.
That's true.
And God, I always know his name, but the one time I want to say it, I forgot it. The alien guy from
Tatanga,
Tatanga, and Daisy's Kingdom. Like, there's so many things that they've done before that they don't anymore because it's not in line with what they envision Mario to be. But it's like, that's also Mario. So
yeah, it's part
stop
of
giving
history.
us Bowser kidnapping Peach 100% of the time. You could still do it 90% of the time, but like, show us some old villains. Have Bowser team up with old villains. Like, have Bowser team up with Wart and Tatanga.
Have Tatanga and Bowser team up and kidnap Daisy and Peach.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. Travel to Sarasaland. That'd be
That's
cool.
what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I'm actually totally shocked that Mario hasn't at this point, because it always seems like it's trying to one-up itself. Mm-hmm. I'm just shocked they haven't done more where it's like, it's a Mario game, and instead of being like, it's good, but they cut out like this, and this, it's like, it's a Mario game, and you have Wario and Waluigi and Daisy's there, and Wart and Tatanga are bad guys along with Bowser, and like, just reference everything. Just make like an ultimate Mario fan love letter game. I'm just surprised no game like that exists yet. Even when they do like the carts and they have tons of characters, they always cut out like a few this time, or like one that got in last time doesn't get in this time. It's like, I never understand it.
It's almost like, instead of making these games for people who enjoy playing them, they're making them for themselves, which I suppose you can't exactly fault them for because it is their creation. But at the same time, if you want people to be interested in your creation, you should also cater to your fans. Like, that's what gives them money.
And there's no problem with using like newer characters like the Koopalings and all these different new villains, but at the same time, you want to utilize the Tatangas and the Warts and all the old characters that people remember from their childhood. So when, like, say when Simon Belmont, King K. Rool show up in Smash, like, holy cow, I remember them from so-and-so when I was a kid, or
that
playing them
sells.
in the arcade.
Nostalgia sells.
Exactly. Yep.
And just things
part of me
in general,
almost,
you know?
Part of me almost thinks that they hold off characters so that they can do like and they're back, like Pauline in Mario Odyssey is like this huge, like, oh, she's finally back, isn't that cool? But it's like, why only like trickle it out? Why not just give us everything at once for once?
Yep.
It's strange at this point. I kind of understand it over the last decade, but at this point, it's so weird that certain things are still like behind closed doors, or we're waiting for that to come back.
You'd think they would have seen the hype and reaction to all of the fan service they did with Smash and do the same thing with other series, but no, they don't want to. It's like, oh, you all wanted Ridley and King K. Rool, and you all wanted Isabelle and these characters. Well, here they are, and the whole fan base was rabid before the game came out, and like,
they were losing their minds.
What happens when you give people nostalgia and what they want? You're gonna profit. People want more of your stuff, like things that have been proven to work in the past.
And they're almost like, it seems like they're baffled when they do it too, where they're like, people really wanted Ridley that much? It's like, yeah, people wanted Ridley that much. Do you have the internet?
Like, the last 20 years?
Like, I just don't understand how companies are so tone deaf to what their audience wants.
Yeah.
And that's not to say they can't make things that people want. It's like, no, their games are still good, but it's like, they can do better, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what if Mario Odyssey had Delfino Plaza in it, or like Subcon, which is the land that the Land of Dreams. Like, it's supposedly a real place you can travel to. Like, what if there was at least one land that has not been explored? What if they made that desert area Sarasa Land? Like, there's so many, and they didn't even have to do much more. They could have just renamed it to...
Just name it. Just drop the name.
Yeah, just say...
Drop a reference.
Yeah.
That's all you gotta do.
They don't have to put any other reference... I forget what the desert level was called in Mario Odyssey. Does anybody remember?
Not off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah.
But all you had to do...
Exactly.
All you had to do is rename it to Sarasa Land. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to add in anything else, and people will be like, oh my god, I could go to Sarasa Land, like, you know,
have Daisy sit there and have a fetch quest to get something for her.
Yeah, she doesn't have to do anything. Just like, she could have been near the pyramid and said something like, I was, checking out this pyramid. It's close to my kingdom or something. You don't even have to put Daisy in for people to lose their minds if they hear Sarasa Land, you know?
Yeah.
But it would have been cool to, like, you know how there were some power moons you could get from, like, looking through the telescope and seeing, like, random stuff float by? What if one of the moons was seeing Tatanga's ship fly by or something? You know, just, like, little things that don't need that. I mean, I'm not a game designer, so I can't say little effort, but there's certainly less effort to just put a little floating UFO by or something, you know? Like,
it's just strange when, like, Smash is clearly one of their biggest selling games, and one of the main reasons with that is because it does so many nods to gaming history, or the history of those series. It's just really bizarre that things like Sonic or Mario can't make a game and just kind of do, like you're saying, very minimal effort, references to absolutely everything, so that it feels like it built upon everything, so it feels like you're in that same universe that you've come to love, no matter what game introduced you to the series, what game you fell in love with. Like, it's simple and easy, and somehow they just don't do it and don't realize how much fans would love that.
Yeah, any little thing in the history of a game series, even if it's just one game, it's still part of that history. You can ignore it, but then it's like, it doesn't make sense to ignore it. It's kind of like you can literally do the same thing you've been doing with Bowser and Peach and just swap out Bowser for Wart and swap out Peach for, I don't know, Pauline maybe, or anyone, and you'd be like...
Anybody.
And you'd automatically...
Rosalina in space. Why not?
Yeah. You'd automatically raise more interest. Like, there's the new Super Mario Bros. Wii U, Switch, whatever game coming out, where people are, I'm sure some people are excited for it, but there are people who are just like, oh, another new Super Mario Bros. Imagine if they did the same exact thing, but instead of Bowser, it was Tatanga or Wart or somebody else. All of a sudden, the game would be more popular because people want to see that character come back. Not necessarily because they want to see the character, but because they have not seen the character in so long.
It would quickly go from, oh, to, oh.
Yeah, it'd quickly go from, oh, new Super Mario Bros. To, new Super Mario Bros.
Yeah, I mean, maybe new bad guy...
Like some people,
bad guy Wart or something, and then have like a cast of. I mean, it's Mario, so they don't even have to be that different weights and jumps or whatever, and have the cast be like 10 or 15 characters. Like you can play as Peach, Daisy, Rosalina, Mario, Wario, Waluigi. Like just give us the whole Mario cast as a playable character.
And when Gino,
classic enemies from other games,
and cameos,
it flesh out those characters more too.
Yeah, and cameos work wonders.
And it wouldn't even. You don't have to change the game barely. Like
yeah. And on what I was saying was cameos work wonders as well. Like just Gino reappearing in that arcade game thing, like that nod to Gino.
Yeah, people care about that.
People loved that. So like you can just have, like just put Waluigi in as an NPC. You don't even have to play as him, but just have him like hanging out somewhere in like where you talk to Toad or some house or something, and people will lose their minds because Waluigi's in the game. It's like you don't have to make him do anything. You could even reuse an old model. And
I don't mind when they add like new stuff to Mario. Like I'm not saying like okay, it just has to be nothing but love letters. Like Nabbit was cool. I'm not a huge fan of the Brutals, but whatever. If they want to try out new villains, that's fine. New things. But it's just like when you do that, like we even rematched the Brutals. Like instead of that, give us a fight against all these other enemies and villains that people like have been wanting to come back. Like
like the Dark Side of the Moon and the Darker Side of the Moon. Like wouldn't it have been much cooler if instead of going to the moon works in terms of you're going around the whole world, so the moon is the next step. But imagine if like the last bonus level was instead like maybe a cloud or something, and you go into it and you're in Subcon. Like just a nod, Like it doesn't even have to be a giant world, but it could be like a challenge thing. Yeah, and you're like, snap.
Peach's Castle, like it made it kind of N64 Peach's Castle throwback, but like. And then everybody was waiting for Delfino Plaza. I mean, people are basically still waiting for Delfino. But why not have Delfino, Luigi's Mansion, Rosalina's spaceship? Yeah. Like, have us go to all those places instead of, like you said, Dark Side of the Moon or some challenges or something.
At the very
least, just a small thing.
Yeah, at the very least, cameo them in the worlds. Like
some kind of complete universe.
Like, what if that dragon... I forget the names of them, but the kingdom with the dragon and stuff. What if there was an area that looked like, or you could see in the distance, Luigi's Mansion? Then you're like, oh, so this game takes place over here, or something like... just like little things like that.
All together.
Yeah, where you're basically connecting every game, You want to throw nods in to show the fans, this is where this is. Like, you're answering questions that people... never really thought to ask, but they want to know, I suppose.
It's a simple, hey, we acknowledge this exists in the same universe, so...
Yeah. Like, it would have been cool to see, like, Mallow as a kind of cloud character. It would have been cool to see him as an NPC on one of the clouds.
He just randomly float by and be like, hey, guys!
Yeah, just, like, hanging out there. It's like, oh, snap, Mallow's here! Like, Or, like,
Star Road, have Star Road exist. Yeah. It's even in Mario World, too. It doesn't even have to be a Mario RPG thing, but it's part of Mario lore, supposedly.
Like, what... I mean, I haven't played Super Mario RPG. I only know a little bit about it. But who is the purple, like, reptile guy?
Oh, Croco?
Yeah. Like, it would have been cool to see him in the dinosaur world or something,
Yeah, or he could have been instead of Nabbit in New Super Mario Bros. Like...
Yeah. It's like... Honestly... Nabbit was pretty much them trying to redo Croco. That's what it felt like. It's like you already.
They had a weird thing there for a while because they did Nabbit and they did the Ravio, and they looked like this like design character. It was such a weird. Like I was like, are they referencing something? I didn't understand.
Well,
so they did.
I understand
Nabbit, then the Brutals, and then they did the Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I think that we're seeing a trend with the rabbit characters in Mario's.
I
yeah.
I understand that Square Enix has ownership over that, but Nintendo owns their old games like Mario 2 and
Oh yeah, there's totally stuff that they can reference without any problems.
Exactly.
That they're just not referencing. I understand not referencing Mario RPG, but and then let's just get back onto Sonic. I mean, Sonic Team owns pretty much everything Sonic. I think there's only a small number of things that the Archie comics don't own anymore.
I think
some guy like broke off or something. I'm not sure of the whole story.
They
echidnas or something.
In a nutshell, that writer claimed that he never signed over the rights to the characters he created, so there was a split where he took his characters and they rebooted their comic.
Gotcha.
And in order to avoid any problems down the road, I think they disassociated any characters that any of their older writers made. So only the current one, Ian Flynn, and current cast members' characters they made were the only ones they were still using, I believe. And then they rebooted it anyway and created a whole new cast of characters. But I'm pretty sure, I mean, I suppose Archie might have some ownership in the characters they created, but Sega, I believe, also has ownership. I think it's a joint ownership.
They've definitely used them a little bit, like Sonic Spinball, I think, references a couple of them.
Yeah.
The Archie, or the Saturday morning cartoon characters. Robotnik's Bean Machine references the Chili Dog cartoon.
Yeah, and the Sonic the Sonic Forces digital comic that was like 4 issues that took place during and before the Sonic Forces game. It wasn't made by IDW, but there were people on it that were involved. And one of the artists created, and there was like a background with characters on computer screens, and they actually put, I think, Bunny Rabbit in to kind of throw a nod to, like, in the Resistance, I suppose they're in there. And the reaction from Sega was negative. Like, I think he got in trouble for that. Like, jeez. Are you serious? People were so excited to see that reference, and he got in trouble for that? I think he got in trouble, but I know that they were unhappy with it. And it's like, you've got to be kidding me. So I
mean, as tone deaf as we're saying Nintendo is, Sonic Team has always seemed 10 times more tone deaf.
There is one thing I will give props to Sega for, and I will give almost like infinite props for this, is they push for like fan creations. You know, like if you make a Sonic fan game, it's like they praise it and respect it.
Yeah, I mean, Sonic Mania basically exists because of that, so you have to be happy about that.
Nintendo and other companies, they're like cease and desist, you know?
Yeah.
But Sonic, I will give Sega that credit and that respect, because that's great. That's like including your fans in the creation process, even if they're not doing anything official. And it's also a great way to build. It's a great way to see what people want to see in terms of gameplay and game design, as well as, you know, eventually bring on new members of the team, which is exactly what they did. And look how big of a hit Sonic Mania was. And I don't understand why other companies are not seeing that, you know?
Yeah, hopefully that wakes people up. Maybe we'll get some more games.
Well, it's been a year.
With integration from the fans, and it'll wake some people up.
Well, it's been like over a year, actually, and it's like, it hasn't done that, you know?
Yeah, I know.
So, like, I don't know, man. These companies, they're all in for the money without realizing they could make more money by not being all in for the money.
You could spend more money with rights and stuff, but you would make more, honestly, with the fan service. People like, yo, buy this game, so-and-so characters in it. It's They would make, and I think about it with Smash, it's like, yes, it would be expensive to get Sora or Gino or someone like that, but do you know how much money you would make back?
Yeah.
It's insane. It just like, and of course they'll do that because it's Smash Bros, but then they won't do that for Mario or any other game where they reflect back. So it just.
So I want to talk about Smash and the data mine, but before I do, I want to ask you, PapaGenos. So you read the Archie comics of Sonic, right?
So like I would pick them up at the grocery store here and there, and I did that from like, I don't know how old I was. Let's say somewhere from 8 to 12 through high school. and then I'm sure I dropped off. So I mean, I know of them. I know certain comics. You might hit an arc that I read. But what's the question?
Oh no, I was just wondering how familiar you
okay,
were
that's
with
about
it.
how familiar I am.
Okay.
I probably have seen maybe every episode of the cartoon show, the Saturday morning one, but it's been a while. And then the comics I sporadically read. I didn't have a subscription. I just bought them at grocery stores and stuff.
Okay. And also, do you have your top 5 of games from last year that you played?
Yeah, I kind of just so I tried to make a top 5 and ended up just making like a long list of games I liked.
Okay. So we'll just go through that real quick. Hopefully not spend a lot of time because I want to talk about the data mine and get to a couple of fan questions within the next half hour. So I guess you could just tell us real quick and a quick comment on each one.
Yeah, sure. I'll just read down my list and go quick. So obviously Smash. I'm not even going to explain.
That's your number 1, or
probably my number 1. I can't even say if this is in order. I have 12.
Oh, okay. Okay, so just read through them.
So I had less at first, and then I ended up adding more because I went online and said, let me look at what actual games came out this year.
Well,
and a lot of games got like re-released and stuff.
Chances are the ones you remembered are higher up.
That's true. So Sonic Mania, which we were just talking about. Sonic Mania Plus, I think, is officially the 2018 one, though. I love old school Sonic, and I thought that was the best Sonic game in years. I don't think I'm the only person who thinks that.
No.
I also have Dragon Ball Fighter Z. I thought that was the best Dragon Ball fighting game in years as well. I got Mega Man 11. I always like another Mega Man entry. That one was really good. Mario Aces, I enjoyed quite a bit. I have younger sisters, and they generally can only play like motion control games very well. So I like it pretty much for that fact. I get to have play video games with a younger crowd there. It's fun. South Park: The Fractured But Whole.
I want to play that. I want to play that so bad.
Play with my younger
sisters. Love their titles.
Yeah, the title's amazing.
Well, actually, funny story with that title is it was actually going to be more not rotten, but like it was actually going to be more of a dirty title, and they're like, no, we can't do that. So they kind of settled for that. It was originally going to be something more in the lines of the something of something, like the first one, A Stick of Truth, and this one was going to be like the Fart of Time or something like that, and they're like, no, or like the Butt of Time or something like that, and they're like, no, we can't do that. So they
how does that work?
Matt Stone or Trey Parker, I forget which one, like really sat there like mulling over a name, and then he kind of came up with the Fractured Butthole, and he was like, this one, like he figured it out and it worked because it was a pun, which is great. But anyway, I felt the need to to say that.
Yeah, it went over my head when I first saw it in the direct because I'm not a South Park fan at all, and I was like, Fractured Butthole. Oh, Fractured Butthole. Ha ha ha. Okay. So it went over my head at first. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense because it's South Park. Okay. So
I mean, it's great because it's like they get away with it because you're allowed to say that. You can say it that way. Like that's just a sentence. Like
just can't say it fast.
But actually, I really like the combat system in that game. I am a South Park fan, but I thought Stick of Truth was a better South Park game. Like the references I like better, but I love the battle system in Fractured But Whole. It was really cool. Okay. I know Matt and Trey are like fans of tabletop gaming, and that showed big time in that game. It was cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I gotta play that one. I played Stick of Truth, but not Fractured But Whole. I just
worth it for the combat.
I just didn't have time and the money at the time, and now there are other games coming out that are taking priority. Kingdom Hearts 3, Resident Evil 2. Yeah, it keeps piling up, and those ones take priority, so I'm like, I'll eventually go back and play it. But continue with your list.
Okay, and then my last two are just, again, games that kind of got re-releases that I played in the past, but I can't not put them on this list because I love them so much. Stardew Valley, I got that for Switch, and nice. I love Stardew Valley. It's a great, just Harvest Moon clone, kill time game. Mm-hmm. And then World Ends With You Final Mix for Switch. Also, I love the World Ends With You, so I couldn't not put it on here.
Ryan, wasn't Stardew Valley in your top 5?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think it was my top 3 game.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was your number 1?
My number 1 was Octopath Traveler.
That's right.
Oh, cool. Okay. I actually didn't play that, but I should.
Oh, man.
Yeah, PapaGenos, you had a lot of games that I picked too.
Nice.
Some of them were in my honorable mentions, but I mentioned them nonetheless. But anyway, so
Cool.
if that's your list, then I want to jump into the data mine while we have time to talk about that.
Cool.
All right. So, were you the only one who did a video on that? I don't know if Alpha or Ryan did any videos on the data mine.
I haven't done a video.
Okay.
Nope.
So, since you're the only one who made a video on it, why don't you introduce it? This will be
Sure.
a part 2, I guess. You could tell people to check out the podcast for part 2.
So basically what happened was some data miners, some really good data miners, went in and they found code names for a few of the DLC characters and the stats that go along with them. So like the weight, the run speed, things like that. For some characters that are coming up. One of them is named Paku, which is most likely piranha plant, because piranha plant in Japanese is Pakun flower.
Mm-hmm.
That's their name for it. Another one is Jack, which most people are assuming is a code name for Joker, because of Jack Frost being like the Atlas Shin Megami Tensei Persona mascot character.
Not only that, but I personally think the Japanese way of saying it sounds not the same, but similar, where you say Jokuru or something like that, and Jaku. So,
okay.
and
So they might actually have
so that's
done
just my theory. So maybe they thought this would be a good code name because they sound similar. That's a theory, though. But also because Jack Frost exists in that series. And also Jack, Queen, King, and Joker in playing cards.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point, too.
So
I've also heard people say that they may only be... Because Piranha Plant doesn't really need to be coded, because we knew about that to begin with. So people these might just have to do with the first letter. That the first letter is corresponding to a character, and Jack might just happen to be... correspond to Jack Frost or the Jack, Queen, King, Joker, that, but they're really they're just making code names with the first letter.
that's
and then the final one is Brave. It's just called Brave. Most people are thinking it's Erdrick from Dragon Quest because of some leaks and stuff. But it is just totally up in the air. It's just
I told you who it was in the comments on your video, if you remember.
What did you say it was?
I said it was the Brave Little Toaster.
Oh, yeah. All right. Okay, so we
it's obviously the Brave Little Toaster, and his final.
I can't believe they're back.
Go back.
And the final smash is the nightmarish clown firefighter.
Yeah, there you go. It's terrifying.
He appears in the back of the screen like that Kirby Dark Spirit guy. And
Nightmare.
And it's like the whole stage just turns red and everything goes on flames, and then there's water.
This is what
I quit
happens
Smash.
when you like.
I'm done with Smash. I can't play Smash anymore. Brave Little Toaster got in.
Oh
Can
my
you
God.
imagine?
Found in the background.
I would be like Brave Little Toaster made it in over Banjo, Shantae, Gino. Like I would
That's
name
what happens
every
when you
character
Nintendo
in
picks the
existence.
characters.
It's like, but Brave Little Toaster got in. It's like, I'm not even disappointed. I just don't even know what to say.
And all the Goku fans are in the corner like, "Are you serious?" Just
And you see and then there's like an interview with Sakurai while the music is playing, like dun dun dun, and he's like, "That's right, the Brave Little Toaster from the Brave Little Toaster is in." Now we might have said before that only video game characters come in, but actually the Brave Little Toaster appeared in a cameo before the game. Like he has some kind of like wild trivia, and it's like you go back and you look like behind a bush in the first Mario game, like a few pixels of a toaster, and you're like, oh my god, there's a toaster! The Brave Little
They were able
Toaster!
to make Brave Little Toaster. They had to get the rights from Nintendo because they actually had like a cease and
It's
desist.
been a secret.
The character
ever
was copied
since.
from an old Nintendo game.
It was like Nintendo's wild card for years before Smash came out. And then in this game,
we need to fill in this rabbit hole, guys.
and this game, Sakurai was like Nintendo was like, is now the time, and Sakurai's like, now is the time. And then it's like Brave Little Toaster.
Unleash the Toaster.
And like his forward B, he rides on the vacuum like Bowser Jr. in the clown car, and just, like,
Oh my god.
oh my god. The grab is like the power cord, and it's like,
Yes.
it's just, oh my god. Brave Little Toaster for Smash.
That is hype.
Yo, that's
Oh,
hype.
It doesn't get much more obscure.
I want that amiibo.
Put it that way.
I want a Brave
A
Little
toaster amiibo, a fully functional amiibo where you can actually toast bread.
Security blanket assist trophy.
And the perfect assist trophy. The perfect assist trophy is that what was that, like, lamp or metal thing that, like, comes down from the ceiling in, like, that repair shop or something, and, like, you hear, like, the characters singing and they're like, oh, and the thing is, like, coming down and, like, picks up.
You mean
like,
the one that talks like this?
yeah, and, like, it'll act like almost like the claw crane from the badge.
Come to
game.
me, precious.
Yes, and he comes down and you hear, like, the chorus from that song. It going like, oh, and like it like drags up any character. All right, we had enough fun with that. Yeah. So So what do you guys think of that data mining? And do you think that the additional text leak that kind of guessed some stuff has any merit in your eyes, I suppose? Like, do you believe that the final characters are Doom Guy, Steve, and Ryu Hayabusa?
I will also add that there are actually 2 different text leaks.
Oh.
One of which that just had Erdrick, and the other one that claims the full DLC, and they are separate leaks. So what do you guys think that you think we're gonna get them as the rest of the Wave 1 DLC?
I personally hope not. Ryu honestly would be pretty cool, not gonna lie. But I mean, if people are like, well, Master Chief doesn't fit, I feel like Doom Guy doesn't fit, because as much as Bayonetta had to be toned down, there's no telling how much Doom Guy would have to be toned down, because he literally rips demons in half with a chainsaw.
I feel like Bayonetta wasn't toned down that much.
They just kind of removed the guts and blood. Like, that was.
They also covered up some areas of her outfit that showed some more skin. I think it was just the legs, where like the sides that open up. Where I think in her Smash model it's just like a different color of black. That's actually supposed to be her skin showing, which they also did with female Corrin, where they So
I think Palutena has that too. Though I mean, they're new models for all the characters, so
they
stitched the top part of her skirt, dress.
So that's nothing new in terms of Nintendo, but
I will say Doom Guy, just because of it's literally he fights hell. So you have
Isn't Hitler in Doom, or
that's Wolfenstein.
Oh, okay.
But this is hell in Doom, so that involves religious stuff. I mean, you can say like demons aren't necessarily, but when you're actually dealing with like Doom is more straightforward about that.
I mean, you can
think it'd be a little tough to deal with.
You can argue that demons aren't associated 100% with hell, because Japan has yokai and stuff, but
you can make demons a mythology thing, and not a religious thing.
It's if you're going to hell, then obviously the demons are coming from hell too.
Right.
It's not like it's not like I'm a demon, but I'm not actually from hell. I'm actually from blah blah blah, the moon, blah blah blah, the moon rabbit. It's like, okay, I'm still gonna rip you in half. It's like
I don't know how doable Doom Guy would be because of that.
It's
just tough.
Mm-hmm.
You'd basically be Samus, right? I don't know. I haven't played Doom, but I just picture like an armored helmet character. I'm like, we have Samus. But then again, how many sword fighters do we have? So
many. I would be pumped about Ryu just because I wanted a katana user for a while. Like I wanted Takamaru. We never got one, so that would be cool.
But Ninja Gaiden is also very bloody. At least the newer ones are.
Yeah, but you could easily. I mean, you don't.
But the old one,
there's not core to who he is, though.
Yeah, the old one, I don't remember off the top of my head if it was bloody. But there were demons and stuff in there. But I mean, you got monsters and creatures in all Nintendo games.
And Bayonetta fights demons and angels.
Yeah, I think that.
And there's demons in Kid Icarus. And Ganondorf is a demon, so it just that's kind of.
I just think the
Well, actually, Ganon is a pig.
I just think with Doom, there's more of a like. I don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure there's like, you know, satanic the stars and stuff like that sort of thing is all over that game. I'm pretty sure, so it's like tougher than just using the names.
The stuff they take out of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, stuff that is not our Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Which, whatever. But yeah, I think I'm still like holding out hope that it's not true because not that they're bad characters, but I feel like other characters should be put in first.
I personally don't believe the full DLC leak. I'll say that.
Yeah,
I don't
know.
Yeah.
I think it's a random text leak that by chance got attention because of timing. And I'll put it this way. If I were to fake a leak at the time that leak got faked, like right after Joker, or even right before Joker, I probably would have thrown a Dragon Quest character and Steve onto the DLC list. That's the most believable ones.
It's also
because
safe.
of what was being talked about. So,
because if you say Banjo and Kazooie, people are gonna be like, remember Vergiment said something about Minecraft's. But if you say Steve, then it's like, oh yeah, Vergiment, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like you could kind of connect the dots and pretend it's, you know, it's official. But
there was also it was little known, but there was this interview with Bethesda where they asked if they had talked to Nintendo about Smash, and they just responded with, "Oh yeah." And so if you were really up to date with, you know, leak stuff, which after the Grinch leak, we need to, you know, assume the people who make fake leaks might be really up to date and very educated on what to fake.
Oh yeah.
You know, faking a Bethesda character like Doom Guy fits.
There's also the chance that the person who leaked this had insider information about the other games and stuff that they got right on the list and decided, oh, now's a great chance to fake a Smash list because they got, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That happens.
That's what I see saying.
There was the Devil May Cry leak that had correct information for the new Devil May Cry game and claimed to know this Dante trailer and said it in great detail what was going to happen. Didn't happen, but all the stuff about Devil May Cry did. So
yeah.
Yeah, those half-true leaks, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so
honestly, if we get a Bethesda rep, I would love Dragonborn from Skyrim. That would be so
cool.
rad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've really played any Bethesda games.
Yeah, I haven't either. That Skyrim is the one game from them I really want to pick up because it is just so expansive. That's the only I only knew about them from Fus Ro Dah, and then I was like, oh, who's it come from? The Dragonborn. What's this game from? Skyrim. Oh, okay. So I thought he'd be a really rad character.
Is Fallout from Bethesda?
Yeah.
I could see something relating to the Pit-Boy, but or at least Pip-Boy.
Which after the fiasco that is Fallout 76, I don't know if they would want to push that.
Yeah.
Push those
Although
buttons.
if something Bethesda does make it in, I can see the Pip-Boy character being a me outfit.
Oh yeah,
that I can see.
Yeah.
Vault Boy's iconic.
Just to say it, his name's Vault Boy. Pip-Boy's
I'm sorry.
the machine on your arm.
That's how you know I know nothing about Fallout.
Okay.
We know
because I heard Pit Boy and then I heard Vault Boy, and I was like,
Vault Boy's the mascot. Pip-Boy's the machine that
the
Vault Boy appears on.
Okay.
Speaking of corrections, PapaGenos, I wanted to say that it's Ryu Hayabusa, not Hayabusa. Or
Hayabusa, okay.
Okay. Well, I could be wrong, but that's how I've been saying it and hearing it. So
you're probably right. I had no idea how to pronounce it.
I also
so
played
right.
2 Ninja Gaiden games, so I think I'm right. I'm not trying to come off as like, oh, I know my stuff. I need to tell you how to say.
That's totally fine.
I was just like, oh, that brings, that reminds me. I wanted to tell you that. So
the only Ninja Gaiden games I played were the old NES ones, which did not have voice acting.
Yeah, I think I played the first Ninja Gaiden, and then I also played the Ninja Gaiden Sigma. So.
Cool. I take that back somewhat. I played one of them where you fought like somebody on top of, I want to say it was like an airplane or a blimp or something. It was in the rain. It was 3D. But I didn't really play much of the game. I played like the beginning part of the game at somebody else's house.
Okay. But anyway, any guesses as to who Brave is?
Well, I hope it's Sora, because if Yusha translates to hero, he's the hero. And if the weight and all that's any indication and the running speed, Sora is fairly fast, and he would have a decent bit of weight because he has huge shoes and a sword keyblade thing. So he would have a little bit of weight to him. So
isn't there a game called Brave Exvius or something? Oh, that's Final Fantasy related.
Yeah, that's a mobile game that has like every single Final Fantasy character.
And didn't they just add Sora in that game?
Mm-hmm.
Possibly.
I saw an ad on Instagram for that.
And someone did say there's like a charm or something in the very first Kingdom Hearts called Brave Warrior that if you don't take it off, it stays equipped with you through the entire game. So that is a stretch. I did 4 Shantae videos. I'm used to stretching evidence. But it's just a lot of like branches and stuff that kind of lead back to Sora. But honestly, I'm still holding out hope. I do want to say it's interesting that Piranha Plant runs faster than Incineroar does. That's just funny to me. Just like in the games, Decidueye is faster than Incineroar, and he's a grass type. So I mean, hey, grass in both games outrun Incineroar. But
Sora
I can't wait for Piranha Plant.
Sora has the Valor form, which I believe in Japanese is called Brave form. So
is it the Yashu form? What did you say, Yusha?
Yusha is... So Yusha means... I think it's spelled with 2... This is my understanding of it. I'm no Japanese expert. It's spelled with 2 kanji, and I believe one of them is brave, and it kind of means like person of bravery, person of valor, person, like heroic person. I don't think there's a direct translation, though. The word brave in Japanese is burivu or something like that. So it's not Yusha, but it's a Yusha has that connotation of brave to it, or can be translated to brave. And the code name isn't Japanese, it's English. It just says brave in English, which is a little strange because we have Piranha Plant that says Paku, which is Pakun, the Pakun flower, the Japanese version. So yeah, it's weird that we have English and Japanese mixed in with
an English created character, maybe.
Possible.
That is, huh?
But what English character relates to Brave?
Brave, Yusha, hero, half genie, hero. Well, I'm stretching again.
Disney. I mean, Disney is American, right?
Disney is very English.
That is true.
I can give you this.
That's what I thought of too. Yeah.
I can give you this little anecdote. I don't want to push too hard on Sora because it does feel like we're stretching, but
yeah, a cheeky reference to it being Disney. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be really good.
And it makes sense because there's Disney Pixar characters in the latest Kingdom Hearts game, so it makes sense to reference a Pixar movie. Stretching again.
Ooh,
we're stretching
brave.
I mean,
right.
So
Disney owns Sora. So
yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much ownership Square Enix has over the character, but they do have obviously ownership over the series. So I don't know. Could be something like that.
So I will say this as far as Disney and English in Japan and just what we're talking about. So I've been to Japan's Tokyo Disney World, Disneyland. I forget what they call it there. I've been there, and I was all excited to bring home some like memorabilia that would have like Japanese on it. Like I think Frozen had come out recently when I was there, and so I wanted to get like something Frozen to bring home as a souvenir, but have it like written in Japanese. And all the gift shops, absolutely everything was in English in there.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Which I guess like if you think about it, that's the treat. You're going somewhere to enjoy Western culture. So like if you were a Japanese person living in Japan, you went to Disney, you would be all excited to get a very English-looking piece of memorabilia because it's very official Disney memorabilia. But I was on the opposite end there. I wanted something Japanese, and I didn't get it.
Like it feels so weird to be a white guy in Japan right now. It just
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I would love to go to Japan just once, just to see what it's like differently.
Oh, do it! It's awesome. Do it.
There's also the
food.
soul.
Yeah, the food's good too.
There's also the soul of a brave warrior in Dark Souls.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
Solaire Voltaire, yeah, doing his pose.
Yeah, the souls of brave warriors, large soul brave warrior, blah blah blah. Anyway, Yeah, I would love for it to be Sora over Erdrick, but I'm also leaning towards wanting Gino now because I've heard so much about Gino from you that I'm like, all right, I want to see Gino now.
I would love to see Gino. I have no idea. I feel like for Gino to get in, basically all the leaks and stuff have to be not true, which is totally possible because they were not talking about Joker. None of the leakers seem to know about Joker, so it's possible they don't know anything about the DLC.
Although I'm hoping Nintendo is aware of that Grinch leak and hopefully looking at that to see, I guess people do kind of want some of these characters, and Gino is one of them. So.
The rumor was, and I don't doubt this rumor at all, that Nintendo was all like flustered and angry about the Grinch leak when it happened. That seems obvious. But whether or not they were flustered and angry because that wasn't what we were going to get for the base roster and they were afraid people's expectations were going to get too high, which is totally reasonable, or they may have been flustered because they were like, oh, geez, we have a ton of stuff for Isaac coming. We're going to have like, a new costume and an assist trophy, which sometimes Nintendo sees as something fans will enjoy, even though most fans get kind of mad when a character doesn't level. And maybe they had Gino and Banjo and who knows who else on there is coming in the DLC, and they were like, oh, no, people are going to, be disappointed early. I don't know.
Or they had other characters from the same third-party reps companies that they're like, oh, man, we should have got this one instead. But at the same time, they said that they made the list of DLC after the game was finished, and the Grinch leak came out. Did it come out before the game went gold?
Probably not. It was like late October.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I could see why it would be frustrating from a developer standpoint, where people are like expecting characters to be in that you didn't put in, but at the same time, I don't want to say it's their fault because, that's like you can't be lucky and guess what everybody wants. But at the same time, it's kind of like
Smash Ballot.
Yeah, I was gonna
exactly.
I was getting to that. I was gonna say at the same time, you should know what people want.
It's also possible. I mean, I hate to go super negative here, but this is a totally plausible scenario where Nintendo and Square and Microsoft and Sakurai sat down at a table. And Sakurai said, the fans want Banjo and the fans want Gino, and that's who I want to put in my game. And Square said, no, Gino wouldn't sell any of our future games. Gino's a dead character. Nintendo said, yeah, we don't really want him back in Mario, blah, 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 blah. It'd be weird because if we put him back here, people are going to want him in future Mario games. We're going to have to keep negotiating and et cetera, et cetera. And then Microsoft was like, we'd rather push Minecraft. That's the game that's going to sell. Banjo's kind of dead to us. Rare, whatever. The negotiations go wrong. Sakurai pushes for Gino Banjo. The other company, the higher up CEO people, push for Steve and Erdrick or whoever they want to push, and that's what we end up getting. And the Grinch leak just threw in Nintendo's face that Sakurai and the fans and the Smash Ballot, this is the clamor for these characters. It is real. Sakurai was right. Obviously I'm making up a totally hypothetical scenario, but
even in that scenario where Square sees Gino as not selling future games and Nintendo sees that they don't want to do future negotiations, if people still want a character, you're still going to profit. Not wanting to make negotiations, that's like almost like a lazy way out. Like, I don't want to negotiate on this potential to make money and build partnership between our companies. I mean, God, if they started putting Gino in future games, that would be selling Square stuff because they would be owning that. It's like, come on. It's just.
But they could be those CEO people can be very tone, like we were talking about earlier. They can be very tone deaf to that stuff. I mean, some of these guys that are heads of companies and everything, they might not really have the fan knowledge or the fan connection in the way that Sakurai does. Sakurai is kind of an outlier here as a game developer, that he was very young. He kind of grew up playing games and making them at the same time. So he kind of falls into a fan and a creator. But some of the CEO people might be more like business school guys, and they might just see, this character pushes sales for this future game. That character doesn't, and that's all they see. And unfortunately, it does.
They're not looking at the bigger picture,
which really is a shame.
They're not looking at the bigger picture, which would make them more money in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which I'm hoping I'm just being optimistic here to counter Brandon's pessimism. I mean, I know you're not pessimist all the time, but it is promising that, Nintendo picked the characters, but the very first DLC fighter is one Sakurai absolutely loves. So it has me hopeful that he had a good bit of input in the characters that Nintendo picked. We don't know if they had only 5 and he was like, I like them all except for this one, and replaced that one with the 6th one, or if they brought him 20 or 30 characters and was like, hey, pick 5.
Very true.
Well,
we don't know still.
Here's the hopeful part. That list might have included a few characters from each third-party company.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe, like, from Square, it would have been, like, 3 of the, like, 7 names. Maybe it would have said, like, Gino, Erdrick, and... I don't know, Sora, for example, and maybe he would have been like, oh, yeah, I finally get the chance to put in Gino, but maybe not necessarily those characters are on the list, but just an example of maybe he had a few choices from different third-party companies.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Nintendo went around, it was probably Nintendo going, especially if we're getting, third-party characters, which, I don't know if it's going to be all third-party characters or not, but that is definitely a possibility here. It seems to be.
It seems likely too.
Mm-hmm.
Seems likely. So if Nintendo went to a bunch of different companies, like they may have said, okay, from each of these companies, these are the 2 or 3 characters they have allowed us to use, or the ones that we're able to get negotiations wise for whatever reasons. Sakurai, you choose out of from these companies. Like, that might have been what happened.
I'm also curious if all the characters from the list will appear in some form. So, like, maybe 5 of them will be characters, but the rest will be a mix of spirits and maybe assist trophies, or just the rest will just be spirits.
Or maybe held off for a wave 2 of DLC.
I would love that.
That would be awesome. Like, you guys didn't get him this time, but you got him now. You got Steve first wave, you get Banjo second wave. So that would...
Now, here's the thing that would be a little annoying, but they could be saving that in their back pocket for a future Smash game in order to attempt to top this game.
That is true.
Because you really can't top this game if you put in characters that people are going to want back. Which kind of...
Though I do think this game has a longer life... Like, Smash 4, it feels like they pulled the plug on it to make Smash Ultimate, whereas Smash Ultimate feels like they're going to be fanning the flames of Smash Ultimate as long as possible, because the Switch is early on in its lifespan.
Yeah.
It's called Smash Ultimate. Everyone is here. Sakurai said he's not sure if he could ever do this again. They may be more willing to keep this game alive.
That's what I'm thinking. Because it did come out in the beginning of the Switch's life cycle.
Right. As opposed to the end of the Wii U's.
Yeah, so if the...
And the Switch sells really well. The Wii U did not, so Nintendo...
Yeah, if the first wave of DLC sticks around for 2 years, we might see a second wave if the Switch is still going strong.
Yeah. Which I anticipate it would be.
I don't think they would make a new Smash game on the Switch.
I don't think so either.
No way.
There's also 30 slots for DLC characters in the code, which I don't think means we're going to get 30, but...
Really?
No,
wow.
I remember hearing about that, but it does, bring up the point of they obviously have some interest in adding more after the DLC.
Yeah, I feel like 30 slots is just extreme buffer room in case they want to add more, but I will say, 10 more, like 15 slots would have been buffer room.
Unless
30's a lot.
A good chunk of that 30 they make Echo Fighters.
Yeah, they could do that too.
We'll add in 5 DLC characters and 10 Echo Fighters or something like that.
Right.
Which would be awesome. But
think about this. At this point in Smash 4's life cycle, like let's say Smash 4 was out for a month, I would have never guessed we would have gotten the Smash ballot. That was a huge surprise. That was like something that I never thought would happen when we got the Smash ballot. So, is Nintendo going to top the Smash ballot with, let's say, E3 this year? They go, and there's going to be 2 more fighter passes into, 2021. Like, it could happen. Like,
I feel like they wouldn't announce that this soon when the first pass is not done.
Probably not, but regardless, I'm just whatever, thinking out loud kind of.
Yeah, I know.
I could see them trying to top the fighter ballot, or if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I'm not anticipating it, but I'm not so pessimistic on this front that I think it's not possible. It totally is possible. And again, the Smash ballot blew me out of the water and totally surprised me.
Yeah.
So, they could try to do something to top that, which could be just more fighter passes.
So say at this point, anything is possible when it comes to Smash Bros. Anything is possible. Sakurai has broken so many glass ceilings. It's just everywhere on the floor now, and we're just trying to sweep up the mess. And he's still doing it. It's crazy. It's just like you said. It's easy to be pessimistic, but it's very easy to be optimistic because you don't know what Sakurai is going to pull next. And
Smash has blown me away so many times. It's like I almost anticipate being blown away at this point.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm also anticipating that the leaks are fake, because I've been used to them not being real recently. That I'm kind of like, that's a neat leak, but I'm not expecting to be like when the trailer show goes on for the next characters. I'm not expecting to be like, oh, I knew this, Yeah.
Plus Reggie made it a point. These are characters you would never expect to see in Super Smash Brothers. So why would we expect people if they were leaked? I mean, why would we not expect people if they end up just being leaked? Like, oh, yeah, guys, hey, Steve's in the game. We heard it from Nintendo themselves. So I'm pretty sure they're going to keep it under wraps.
Steve's been talked about for a long time.
Yeah.
So you say it's characters we're not going to expect. Steve's been talked about since August. So,
So I guess we could jump into some fan questions / comments. Unless you guys had anything more to say about the data mine.
Can I just add one more character I've thought of with the Brave thing?
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
True.
So one character that just came to mind. It doesn't have anything to do with the word, but just I think the character exemplifies this. The word brave.
Is it Sonic the Real Man?
Sonic the Real Man. Yeah, we're gonna get Sonic with
Jim Carrey Eggman as an assist trophy.
Jim Carrey Eggman assist trophy. Exactly. Jim Carrey's been seen in the voice room work for Nintendo, so it's coming. No, it's Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins.
He can really walk, Sonic. He can really talk, Sonic. He's the realest man alive.
Is that the dude with the lance from Marvel vs. Capcom?
Yeah, Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins, the old NES game.
Yep.
It came out, I think, right around the same time as Mario, so it's very old, very classic Nintendo. In the same way,
that would honestly be
Ninja Gaiden and everything. And the stats, people are guessing a short, armored Erdrick.
That's a really good thought.
And I just think he's a
that would honestly, I would not even be mad. That would actually be hilarious. So that's actually a really interesting idea, honestly.
Yeah, it's just a character I haven't heard too many people talking about, but it's the one outlier character I can think of that also fits Brave.
I mean, again, these are characters we wouldn't expect to be in Smash, so he's a Capcom character then. So that'd be a fourth Capcom rep.
Yep, so he would actually, fourth, because Ken. So Capcom has a lot of love already.
Something I want to add, if we do wind up getting Ryu Hayabusa, that would mean negotiations with Koei Tecmo might allow us to get some Hyrule Warriors content, whether it's a couple of those remixes for Zelda music, or maybe some of those characters as costumes, like that Ganondorf has a Ganondorf costume, or that Link,
I totally forgot about how much I want costume DLC. Yeah. I kind of gave up on it because they seem to have told us what
me
DLC
Yarn Yoshi,
but
give me Black Yoshi, give me Yarn Yoshi.
Yeah, they do it with two characters who look exactly the same, Ike and Ike, but they don't do it for characters that we've had Twilight Princess Ganondorf in the past game, so it's like, well, why didn't you bring him back as an alternate outfit?
Yeah,
but you brought back two Ikes.
I definitely think Ocarina of Time Ganon is an improvement, but it still would be cool to have both of them.
It's still strange not to have both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
even both Links and both Zeldas,
And you have cheerful Zelda and emo goth Zelda, so it's just.
But anyway, so let me read some stuff here. We got El Omni Alpha, who always comments for us. So thank you, El Omni Alpha, for being our only fan. A week ago, he said, you should play Rune Factory, Ryan. It's Stardew Valley done right. I highly recommend.
Yes, I read that, and I have played Rune Factory, and it is very good as well. I think Stardew Valley appealed to me a bit more because of the art style. It kind of reminded me of like the SNES era a little bit more than like Rune Factory, which is a little bit more modernized. Mm-hmm. But I think they're both very good games in their own right. But I have played it.
Okay. He says, and unfortunately they can't port Ultimate, at least not the roster. Nintendo would still need to renegotiate licenses for every third-party element for a port anyway, so characters would still be cut anyway if they wouldn't be able to be in a new game. Does anybody know if that's true or not?
I would imagine
surprise me. Yeah.
I would imagine it is somewhat.
I would imagine it would be easier to negotiate to say to a company, hey, this is already done and this game is popular, so can we just port it, We don't need
unless
to do
they're
it.
Square Enix.
Yeah, definitely easier because they've already made the negotiation.
That's what I'm saying. So there's no more work per se on their part. They can just be and they can kind of prove, hey, this game already sold a lot, which doesn't necessarily mean it would sell again. So I don't know.
I think as long as we don't hear any weird feud Smash is out, but Nintendo and Capcom don't like each other anymore because Smash didn't sell as well, or Capcom didn't like the way they did stuff with Mega Man. I'm just making stuff up.
Unless they
if we hear something like that, then maybe not. But so far, seems like Nintendo's relationship with all the companies that work with them for Smash has only gotten better. So
yeah. Yes. You just look at the way they're all referenced in World of Light and Classic Mode and the Spirit Battles and stuff. I think that Nintendo got pretty chummy with all the companies because there's so many references to so many games. It's crazy.
Yeah, unless they already preset the potential for a port in any negotiations, which I don't know if they can do, but it'd be interesting if they negotiated with a port in mind.
I was thinking about that in the early days of Smash Ultimate, before we even had the name, when it was, is it a port? Is it not going to be a port? Blah, blah, blah. And I was wondering if maybe the reason, this is kind of, it's past this now, but I was wondering if the reason that Smash 4 was called Smash Wii U and Smash 3DS was so that they could make a Smash Switch without having to renegotiate all the characters, because no, it's not the next Smash. It's just, you gave us the rights to use the character in Smash, and now it's Smash for whatever system, like Smash for 3DS, Smash for Wii U, and then we're making another one, Smash for Switch. But we still have the rights to Cloud, because blah, blah, blah. Though, from what I've heard since then, is that they did have to renegotiate for the characters, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just hope that we get everyone back again, which we never will, so.
Yeah, we kind of have to just. That's why I'd rather have DLC.
Just extend the life as long as possible.
Yep. So he also says the Ultra Beast because we were talking about the Ultra Beast last time. He says the Ultra Beast resemblance in Pokemon to people was somewhat explained as Lusamine being obsessed with them and forcing those around her to dress up as them. Openly said for Lily and heavily implied for Guzma. I don't know. Is that a theory or?
I don't know.
They definitely resemble.
They do.
Those Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. Which I feel like Guzma would be the kind of guy just like, man, I want to have my hair messy. I ain't listening to no crazy lady. I feel like he would just do it just because he's like, he's Guzma, yo. He's your boy Guzma, yo. So I feel like he just do it because that's awful. I'm sorry, I'm so white. But he's just, I feel like he would just that messy hair. Yeah, he would just do that because it's Guzma. But that is, I don't know if that's confirmed or not. I could see her dressing Lily up because it's her child daughter. She can't really resist her. So, yeah.
I could see the Pokemon wanting to look like Guzma because he's so cool.
Yeah. Searchy's like, man, I look like an amalgamation, but at least I got the sick hairstyle.
Unless those Ultra Beasts are literally those people from alternate dimensions.
Oh.
Yeah, that's always been a theory there. Some sort of counterpart.
Yeah. PapaGenos, you're not going to like this next comment. He says.
Uh-oh.
He says, why, have you read it?
No, I don't know. I'm just not going to like
it. He says, anyone from Dragon Quest would be better than Geno, in my opinion. A popular idea. A popular idea isn't necessarily a good one. Cough, Tide Pod Challenge, cough. It makes
I'd say Geno's a better choice than the Tide Pod.
All right.
I'm not done.
All right.
Hold on.
Let's hear him.
It makes perfect sense that it makes perfect sense that Square Enix wouldn't want a Mario character to represent them, especially one they can't make any money from because they can't use him freely. Thoughts?
Okay, I gotta respond to that.
I know you do. That's why I want to finish.
All right. I will not stand for this blatant hatred of the Tide Pod Challenge. I have been pushing the Tide Pod Challenge for months now.
Yeah, and you don't see the subliminal
I can't believe somebody
messaging?
would be against it. And you know, I'm sorry. I need a second.
I know. There's the subliminal messaging in every outro of your video that says, and once again, guys, Tide Pod Challenge.
Yes. Have you played my videos backwards? You can hear. I'm chanting Tide Pod Challenge.
And once again, guys, and then you play it backwards. It's like, do the Tide Pod Challenge. Do the Tide Pod Challenge.
For Smash Tide Pod Challenge.
Was there anything you want to say about Geno not selling anything and representing a Mario character?
I mean, that's always been the argument against him. So I'm not gonna like defend him super hard here. My reasoning for why I want him is out there on the internet. You can find it. There's tons of people who want him. Their reasoning is out there on the internet.
I mean,
it's just like any other character anybody wants. I like them, therefore they should be in Smash.
I mean they're gonna profit because they're gonna make money off of it as DLC.
Yeah.
So either way, they're gonna profit. You know.
I mean, I completely understand the argument in favor of someone other than Geno as a Square rep. I completely understand Dragon Quest basically started the JRPG. I completely understand. I've said this before too that like Goku probably got like 1 million votes. So having an Akira Toriyama designed character, maybe that satisfies that crowd. It's huge in Japan. It has a future. Like, I get it. If it beats out Geno, I get why. I'm not delusional. But I still like Geno. I still think he's a cool character. I still think he has a huge history with trying to get into Smash. I still want him in Smash.
Yeah.
To each their own.
I remember back during the Smash ballot, I remember seeing Geno's name first come. I was like, who the heck is Geno? And it was the same thing with Shantae. It was the same with a bunch of characters. I didn't know who they were until the ballot. And when I finally saw him, I was like, oh, he looks cool.
Yeah.
And so I just was like, okay, people like him. He would be pretty cool. So
I'm also interested to see how his name is pronounced, if it in fact is Geno.
that is a good question.
Can you imagine if it's not, and everyone who's been saying Geno, like their mind gets blown?
Geno?
Yeah, you'd be like PapaGenos from now on.
PapaGenos.
Geno.
Genos.
Then he says. And I believe this is directed to Alpha. He says, yeah, I'm pretty sure Japan has more than 2 people in it. Alpha, I think he's talking about Dragon Quest. He says, Dragon Quest is gigantic over there, like it's insane how popular the series is.
Okay, I know it's big. I just want Sora more.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just a fanboy who wants my character. I know. It just... I have talked poorly about Dragon Quest, and I am sorry. I get it's a huge franchise. But it is kind of irritating how Nintendo has done nothing but push it in the West, and the West really doesn't want it that much. So, I mean,
it's like Fire Emblem. They weren't pushing it in the West as much back in the day,
and it just kind of happened. So, yeah,
right. That's kind of the difference here is that Fire Emblem wasn't getting like brought over here. Then it happened in Smash. It did get brought over here, and it took off. Dragon Quest has been around. we get them. Like, they're here. They're
the game's been around a while, and that's really popular? Kingdom Hearts.
Although there are, like, new gamers who would be interested in checking out a series because they start liking a character in Smash Bros.,
True.
Like, you have to remember that a lot of gamers now, like, where this is their first Smash, there's a good chance that they haven't played all those games.
I haven't even played all the games, you know? So to them, they're just new
played
characters, and then they want to check out those games. So, plus we never got any game here in the West that has Lucas in it, so I don't see what they're...
That is true. I still would love, after hearing his story, I would love to play through Mother 3 just because of how good the story is. I know I've already had it ruined for me because I watched a video about why Hinawa's spirit is such a big deal in Smash, and I was like, oh my gosh, Lucas's life sucks. And he is like the most amazing kid ever for going through this and still waking up each day like, I don't hate myself. It's just, man, I was just like, man.
Maybe he does wake up every day and still...
Well, you know, I mean, yeah, that's not canon.
It's also not canon that he doesn't think that.
Yeah.
Not until it's translated will we know for sure. They may translate into the West every time you wake up in that game. That's what
Man,
says.
I hate myself.
It's like, yawn,
yeah,
I hate myself.
I would play Mother 3 port, honestly.
I still gotta
I've
play
never played the
Earthbound
single game
Beginnings.
of the series, but
And I still I haven't played any Earthbound.
mm-hmm.
But and then he says, my somewhat conspiracy theory is that every DLC fighter will bring in more spirits and Mii costumes from their company, as well being the reason all the best third-party ones were removed. Do they could get a cut? I think it was so they get a cut. And the other Shantae characters are being held for when she becomes a fighter, because seriously, how is there at least no Roddy Tops or Squid Baron spirit?
This is true.
Yeah.
And I do have to say, as a Shovel Knight fan, I love that there are 5 Shovel Knight spirits.
Also, all the Shovel Knight spirits are characters you play as.
Yep.
So that's a difference.
Well, Shield Knight technically isn't, but yeah. Well, she will be when Shovel Knight Showdown comes out, but...
she's playable in that multiplayer thing, I guess. But then I think...
Oh, yeah.
But then I think all of the Knights are, so...
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Well, you play next to her. Without spoiling anything, you do play with her as a CPU at some point.
Yeah.
So and
I know that because I played that for my channel. So
and she's also important for the story, for what happens. Again, no spoilers, but
yeah, if you have
she
not
is
played Shovel
important.
Knight, I highly recommend it. It's a great game.
Her as a character, she is important to that series, just like Risky is important to Shantae, so they put Risky in. I guess so. I don't know.
And it is still suspicious though, the last 2 spirits. So it is interesting.
Yeah,
it's funny.
That was interesting.
That is very, very suspect.
It's interesting that Risky and Shantae both are in World of Light as spirit battles, but Shovel Knight and Shield Knight are not. You actually have to buy them both from the shop in World of Light.
At least one of them was.
Do they ever come on the spirit board?
I think they come on the spirit board because that's how I got
I know they do.
Plague Knight, Spectre Knight, and King Knight. But I had to buy Shovel Knight from the shop in World of Light. I never found him, and then he was just randomly in. I think it was Anna's shop or Funky shop. I was like, oh, Shovel Knight, so I went ahead and bought him, and so that was awesome. But I was just like, he's not even a spirit battle, but Shantae and Risky are okay. So I was like, that's very suspicious. But
I think that was all, because I'm like looking at older comments I've gotten, and I think that. I thought that we were missing one to go over, but I think we went over them all. So, Elm on the Alpha and anyone else listening, let me know if I missed any of your questions or anything. And the only other thing I could think of was something I want to ask PapaGenos based on a question that was brought up once before, is what's going on with your sources? Do they still believe that Banjo's going to be in and whatnot, or are they now like completely confused and not sure anymore?
So basically what happened with that is, so like I always said, I had a source who I trust who then had a Microsoft source who was telling him Banjo was in. We have not heard from that Microsoft source since the Grinch leak stuff, and therefore we're very wary about it. Obviously, perhaps. I still trust the source that was telling me about having a Microsoft source due to who they are and stuff like that. I do still talk to them, but they haven't heard anything from Microsoft source, and we're both basically kind of doubting that source. However, there were rare spirits found in the code of the game.
Yeah.
And that's very suspect.
But then again,
very suspect.
Oh, well, rare characters being found in the code. I was gonna say doesn't necessarily mean. Because Microsoft owns Rare, but so I was gonna say that like Steve being the character could still mean we would get rare spirits. But
Totally
I feel
possible.
Yeah, but I feel like if they're gonna go with rare, like
and not Microsoft
specifically Rare and Microsoft.
If they had like Master Chief or someone like that, they'd have for like Chief or something like. Okay, someone Microsoft related is getting in Smash, but since it's Rare specifically, it's like Banjo. So,
but I mean, you can argue.
Papa get a text from a random number. It's like, hey, good, I finally tracked your number down. I'm the dude that talked to you about Banjo. I'm the Microsoft rep. He's in. I got fired. Don't tell anybody.
I've never interacted with the Microsoft source. I only interact with my source.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's still possible because. I mean, we're getting spirits from other like Way Forward and Yacht Club Games. We're getting them as spirits, and they don't have any characters. Although Shovel Knight is an assist trophy.
Is in the game.
Yeah,
Rayman and the Rabbids. So it's possible rare spirits show up at some point. But I would say it would be really strange if Nintendo went out of their way to negotiate with Microsoft, specifically negotiate with Rare. To get some spirits, to not do anything with Banjo eventually. Yeah. And that might even be a Fighter Pass 2 thing, I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's also possible that whoever this Microsoft source was, they said Banjo for sure. Supposedly that's what they told, my source. But it's totally possible, too, that Nintendo went to Microsoft and they just... assume Banjo. I don't, and it's Steve. I don't know.
It's also possible that Banjo was on the list that Nintendo gave to Sakurai.
That's possible too.
Maybe it's possible that
Banjo as one of the choices.
Yeah, maybe he didn't know about the list, and maybe he heard of at least Banjo being, allowable.
Right.
And maybe
so that's kind of where I'm at with it. Is like. I don't know if it's true or not, but the circumstances of it are vague and cloudy enough. And I feel like if we do get something Microsoft, which it does feel like we are going to get, then I can kind of. I don't think it was just some lie. I think there was some truth behind it. Still possible. It's Banjo though, so I'm not giving up hope on that. It's also totally possible we get Steve and Banjo. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility.
I'd be fine with that as long as we got Banjo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Or we get Steve, and I mean, this would not be my favorite, but Steve with a Banjo skin, which does happen in Minecraft. Stupid. So, I mean, that would make a lot of people unhappy, but...
Or Banjo with the Steve Assist trophy.
I still think...
Or Steve me costume with Banjo.
I was going to say, I still think Steve works best as a me costume.
Yeah,
I think most people feel that way.
Yeah,
even I think fans of I like Minecraft. I'm not even like an anti-Minecraft person. I just feel Minecraft is all about the world. So a stage is the best way to represent it.
Yeah,
I don't get excited for Minecraft because of the main character. I get excited for Minecraft to play in the world. I think everybody does.
I love Cube Man.
I haven't played Pikmin, but do people feel the same way about Olimar?
I like Olimar. I like the characters.
See, I really don't know anything about Pikmin, so I don't know how much there are of characters. You could say the same thing of Captain Falcon. Before the anime came out, he was just a racer.
I mean, you think about
Olimar has some personality.
Yeah. But I mean, literally, Smash is what defines Captain Falcon way more than F-Zero now. His personality is known because of Smash. Smash gave him a personality, so that's cool.
Yeah, Smash gave him the Falcon Punch.
Yes, everything about him exists because of Smash Bros. So
you can also be a character that has no personality, like Rob in Game & Watch.
Lack of personality is a personality in itself.
Yeah,
yeah. Which even now they have personality. I mean, look at Game & Watch's. I love how even the characters like that don't have personality per se have personality in this game. Mm-hmm. Especially Game & Watch with every single one of his moves looking different now. I love every aspect about Smash.
Really erratic, kind of crazy cartoon character. I love it.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up for today. I know everybody's got to go, so we're just trying to get through these comments. Again, let us know if we missed any old comments or anything. Specifically El Omni Alpha, because he's the only one who ever asks stuff. But yeah, so was there any last things anybody want to say? No? Okay. All right.
That was easy.
All right.
There was one thing I was gonna say earlier when we were talking about Mother 3. Like the Porky spirit is missing, and Porky was a boss. It's the only boss without a spirit. I was leaning DLC character, but now I'm kind of leaning towards, especially because Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee got spirits, like the games give you spirits. That maybe it is just a Mother 3 port, just a translation port or something, and maybe a Earthbound Mother collection or something. And you'll just get the Porky spirit then, which is fine with me, because I would the thing I really want is some Mother 3 translation. I know we were talking about that earlier.
I've never played Earthbound, but if a trilogy or a collection came out, I would probably pick it up because I would want to check it out. I would
honestly play Mother 3 should it get ported. I mean, that's how I feel. When Spyro Reignited gets ported to the Switch, I'm getting it. When Mother 3 gets ported to the Switch, I'm getting it. So
when Shantae comes out for Smash, I'm getting it.
Yeah.
But all right, I guess that wraps up for this episode. And I would say where can they find you guys? But you know what? It's just going to be in the description. It'd probably be easier to say that instead of asking each and every one of you where they can find you. So everybody can be found in the description below.
Sounds good.
And as always, if you follow my comic on Tapas, which nobody has been doing, but I still say it every time, I will give you a shout out. So, yeah, and with that, we are done for this week. Here's to a great 2019, unless the world ends before the year ends. Or unless I die or something.
Well, that got dark.
That doesn't
Yeah,
happen.
it got dark.
Colonel, the host is dead. All right, all right, everyone, take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Arthur from Ghosts and
He can
Goblins.
really walk, Sonic.
Aw.
He can really talk, Sonic. He's the realest man alive.